ever finish filling up your Ram, check the total, and just stare at the pump like it personally insulted your family? That moment when the numbers just keep climbing and you're wondering if you accidentally filled a swimming pool instead of your tank. Yeah, I've been there too. And now Ram is betting everything that this new twin-turbo Hurricane inline-six can solve that problem while making more power than the legendary Hemi V8 it replaced. But here's the real question everyone's afraid to ask. Is this complex twin-turbo marvel actually better for truck owners in the long run? Or is it just better for Ram's EPA numbers and corporate fuel economy averages? Today we're digging deep into the engineering, the real-world numbers, and what this radical shift means for your wallet and your peace of mind over the next 5 years of ownership. Look, I get the skepticism. For 20 years, the 5.7-liter Hemi was the heart and soul of Ram trucks. That deep, unmistakable rumble that vibrated through your soul, that predictable linear power delivery we all understood, that beautiful mechanical simplicity that meant any decent mechanic could diagnose problems with basic tools. Now it's gone, completely replaced by this complex twin-turbo six-cylinder that makes more power on paper but comes with way more plumbing, electronics, and potential failure points. And make no mistake, Ram knows this is a massively risky move. They're so aware of the skepticism that they've launched an entire Never Stop Being American marketing campaign, despite the fact that the Ram 1500 contains just 55% United States and Canadian content, according to the latest National Highway Traffic Safety Administration reports. But forget the marketing fluff and patriotic pandering. Let's look at what actually matters to you as an owner. Real-world performance numbers, long-term maintenance costs, and whether this new engine will actually last like the legendary engines of the past. Let's start with what fundamentally makes the Hurricane different from anything Ram has ever put in a half-ton truck. First, and most fundamentally, it's an inline-six configuration rather than a V8. This actually brings some significant advantages. One cylinder head instead of two means half the potential head gasket failures, one exhaust manifold instead of two means half the potential exhaust leaks, and a naturally balanced design that reduces vibration without needing complex balancing shafts. But then Ram added layers of complexity. Twin turbos with all their associated plumbing, intercoolers, extra sensors, electronic wastegates, and enough piping to make a NASA engineer sweat. The standard output version makes a respectable 420 horsepower and 469 pound-feet of torque, while the high-output version makes an absolutely ridiculous 540 horsepower and 521 pound-feet of torque. That's genuinely best-in-class figures that completely destroy the old Hemi's 395 horsepower and 410 pound-feet on paper. Here's where it gets fascinating, though. It's not about peak numbers, it's about where the power comes in and how it delivers. The Hemi had that immediate low-end shove that truck owners love, that neck-snapping torque right off idle that made merging and towing feel effortless. The Hurricane makes more power everywhere in the rev range, but its character is completely different. It builds power progressively and really comes alive in the mid-range, making it feel more like a performance car engine than a traditional truck motor. The chief engineer himself admitted they prioritized horsepower over torque for acceleration metrics. And my goodness, does this thing scoot when you put your foot down. But all that boost comes with heat, and lots of it. When you're running 26 to 28 pounds of boost on the high-output version, you're generating enormous thermal loads that have to be managed through complex cooling systems, heat shielding, and sophisticated engine management programming. This isn't just an engine swap. It's a complete rethinking of what a truck powertrain should be. Okay, let's cut through the marketing and talk about what actually matters to your wallet over the next 5 years of ownership. First, fuel costs, the obvious starting point. The standard output Hurricane gets EPA rated at about 18 city 25 highway miles per gallon, which is slightly better than the Hemi's 1822, but not the revolutionary improvement some might expect. But here's the critical catch that doesn't get enough attention. The high-output version requires premium fuel and gets just 15 City 21 highway according to latest EPA testing. Do the math on that, over 5 years and 75,000 miles of driving, that premium fuel requirement adds about $3,500 to $4,000 compared to the old Hemi running regular, completely wiping out any theoretical fuel savings from the slightly better efficiency. That's real money coming straight out of your pocket every time you fill up. But fuel is just the beginning of the ownership cost story. Let's talk maintenance and repair costs, the real elephant in the room. The outgoing Pentastar 5.6 and Hemi 5.8 are known quantities. We know their failure points, we know repair costs, and any decent independent mechanic can work on them with basic tools. The Hurricane? It's a complete unknown with complex new technology. Those twin turbos aren't cheap. If one fails out of warranty, you're looking at $2,000 plus per side just for parts, plus several hours of labor at $150 plus per hour. The intercooler piping, the extra sensors, the complex vacuum systems, the additional cooling circuits, it all adds potential failure points that simply didn't exist on the previous engines. Now, to be absolutely fair, the Hurricane does have some legitimate advantages too. The inline-six design is inherently balanced, which means less vibration and potentially longer component life. And without the cylinder deactivation system that caused so many expensive problems in the Hemi valve train issues, lifter failures, and camshaft wear, we might see better long-term reliability in that department. The truth is, we won't know the Hurricane's true reliability profile for 5 to 7 years as these trucks accumulate mileage. But early teardowns by engineering analysis firms show some encouraging signs. Forged aluminum pistons, serious cooling capacity, and what appears to be overbuilt internals that suggest Stellantis might have learned from other manufacturers' turbo engine failures. Now let's address the elephant in the room that nobody's talking about openly. Ram's massive new Never Stop Being American marketing campaign pushing patriotic pride while simultaneously making the most un-American engine change in the company's history. The uncomfortable truth is that no modern truck is all American anymore. The global supply chain sees to that. The Ram 1500 contains about 55% United States and Canadian content according to federal reports, better than some competitors, worse than others. But here's what really matters. These new Hurricane engines are built in Mexico, just like Ford's 2.7-liter and 3.5-liter EcoBoost engines are built in Mexico. Just like many modern truck components are sourced from all over the world. The question isn't where it's built, it's how it's built and how it will hold up over time. Early drives by automotive journalists suggest Ram has built something genuinely special here. Multiple publications are calling it one heck of a ride with baffling power that redefines what a half-ton truck can do. The acceleration is genuinely shocking for a full-size truck, with the high-output version hitting 60 miles per hour in well under 5.5 seconds. That's sports car quick, and something that can still tow 8,000 pounds. So after all this data, all these comparisons, all these cost analyses, who wins the war between tradition and innovation? Should you embrace the Hurricane technology or hunt for a leftover Hemi while you still can? Here's my straightforward advice based on the numbers. Choose the Hemi if you value mechanical simplicity, if you do your own repairs, if that classic V8 sound is non-negotiable for your truck experience, and if you plan to keep the truck for 10+ years where long-term proven reliability matters more than peak performance. Choose the Hurricane if you want the best acceleration in its class, if you care about fuel economy, but stick to the standard output version, if you lease or change trucks every 3 to 4 years before warranty expires, and if you're willing to trade some simplicity for cutting-edge technology and performance. The truth is, both engines have merit depending on your priorities. The Hurricane is a technological marvel that makes the Ram 1500 more powerful and sophisticated than ever before. The Hemi is a known quantity with a deep parts supply and familiar repair costs that won't surprise you down the road. There's no universally right answer here, only what's right for your specific needs, your risk tolerance, and how you actually use your truck. Now, I want to hear from you in the comments. Are you rushing to dealerships to grab one of the last Hemis before they're gone forever? Or are you excited to embrace the Hurricane technology and all it brings to the table? If you've already driven one of the new Hurricane-powered Rams, tell us about your experience and whether it lived up to the hype. If this deep dive saved you time or helped your decision process, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. We're your source for data-driven truck reviews without the marketing fluff or brand bias. Next week, we're putting the Hurricane head-to-head against Ford's PowerBoost Hybrid in real-world towing tests up the Eisenhower grade with identical trailers. You won't want to miss that ultimate efficiency showdown.